I thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glaze lily like a cactus.
I'll go talk to him. At this rate, he won't even be able to afford eating cacti for much longer.
Hey, Tighnari!
Oh, it's you two. It's been a while. What brings you to Port Ormos?
We didn't have anything to do, and this place looked pretty lively, so we decided to stop by. But, what's with all the flowers around here?
Well, Port Ormos is currently organizing a flower exhibition featuring flowers and plants from all over Teyvat, so I came to help out. The exhibition includes flowers from every corner of the world, each with their own unique properties and needs. With that in mind, the curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharuar capable of retaining heat and moisture. Even so, an expert is still required to develop tailored transportation and care plans for each type of flower.
Oh, and that expert is you, right?
Not this time, no. I'm just here to help out. The expert in charge is someone else.
Mr. Tighnari! Sanjay! He confused the poisonous bulbs with garlic shoots, and he ate them!
Never mind. Forget about what I said about the food expenses. Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of. I'll be back in just a moment.
Tighnari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Some people just need supervision. Well, looks like Tighnari might be busy for a while. Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Huh?
Paimon's... fine. She's just kinda...
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilia's? No wonder.
It's getting...
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, the scent... Whoa, that was fast! Paimon...
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine you two aren't from Sumeru either. Seeing as we're both travelers from abroad, it's only right that we help each other out should the occasion arise.
Oh, so you're here for the flower exhibition too?
I suppose that's accurate. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emilie, a perfumer from Fontaine.
Paimon is Paimon! Thank you so much for your help just...
The traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from the Steambird. It's nice to finally put a face to the name.
What happened back there? Why did Paimon start sneaking?
Have you ever heard of hay fever? To put it simply, when inhaled...
But Paimon has seen these kinds of flowers before and nothing weird happened then.
Well, we're all different. The factors that can trigger a reaction to certain stimuli vary by person. In isolation, the effects of certain pollens may seem minimal, but there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies can be effectively mitigated with the use of medication.
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air. Emilie? What a coincidence. Looks like my worry was misplaced then.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly after my arrival, and I offered them a bit of help, that's all. I'm more curious as to why you thought the Traveler and Paimon were in danger. Allergies are highly unpredictable. If you were concerned the pollen might trigger a reaction, that must mean...
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
The Spirit Borneal didn't affect Paimon at all, and now she...
It's not really something you can make sense out of, Paimon. There are all kinds of allergies out there.
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Fontaine where someone had an allergic.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon isn't allergic.
In a manner of speaking.
In addition to medicine, Emilie is also very knowledgeable about botany.
And that's where my expertise ends, I'm afraid. When it comes to breadth of knowledge, Tainari certainly comes out on top.
A flower expert? Oh, Paimon's got it! You...
Wrong again.
Well, I did come for the exhibition, but only to inquire about the
Oh, Paimon was sure she got it right.
It's a kind of flower that was once popular in Fontaine.
Auguste, huh? That's not a name.
In an ancient language, the word is said to mean sacred. Ah, that reminds me. Are you familiar with Perfumania? Was an event that occurred in It all started when several merchants released their own lines of high-end, expensive perfumes, marketing them as must-have luxury products. No one anticipated the absolute frenzy this would create on the market, causing the price of perfumes to... The demand was twofold. What some saw as a status symbol, most saw as a money-making opportunity. The value of these products became so inflated, regular bottles of perfume were even going for... But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. The market value greatly exceeded the... Luckily, the Palais Mermonia recognized the danger and intervened before the craze could... In the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the bubble...
What does all this have to do with that Auguste you mentioned earlier?
Well, during the craze, the most popular perfume was none other than Auguste. The demand far exceeded the supply, to the point where it once sold for 10 million more a bottle.
10 million? Then what about now?
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal price. Auguste was the only exception. Its namesake, the flower used to create it, went extinct. As a result, no new bottles of Auguste have been made, and the value of the perfume remains exceedingly high. Indeed, the Auguste flower was not a natural variety, you see. It was specially cultivated for use in perfume making. When the bubble popped, all the flower beds used for its cultivation were destroyed in a fire. The variety has never been seen since.
But didn't you say you came to the exhibition to look for it?
Ah, yes. I came to investigate a certain rumor that the Auguste flower has reappeared in Sumeru. It's causing quite the stir in the Fontaine perfume market.
Traveler, we should help Emilie look for it.
I have to agree. Emilie wrote me to ask if I could look into the rumor, but the forest rangers haven't received any reports of new plant species.
Even if I can locate the flower, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed, Paimon. I don't have... Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments. When it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price and the prestige.
Wow, so noble.
Of course, there's also a more practical reason. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of a goose, and
Okay, that's more like the reason.
ever since that rumor started, 3 new. If I can dispel the fanaticism surrounding a goose, then I'll be free from all the stories.
That makes sense.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your help, but
Well, you said it yourself. We're both trapped.
I suppose you're right.
Based on the information I have so far, it's unclear if Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say.
I was just about to pay him a visit at the.
Edgar? Who's that?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. Back when he was still working in Fontaine, a goose.
I should also mention, he was my teacher.
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came to Samaro to teach people
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near the hotel.
Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that more of it?
It's been so long. I almost didn't recognize you, Edgar.
Well, you and your brother haven't...
Oh, yeah. All this catching up is nice and all.
Hold on. We have...
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emily? Is that you? I've heard you've become quite the famous perfume...
Oh, well, it's...
Hardly. I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the year. And who are these two? I don't recall you mentioning them in your letter.
They're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emily's friends.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends of your...
Of course. I'm Ood. And this...
Yes.
Merchant brother?
You must be here to look for the
Well, what respectable perfume merchant...
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emily. I commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for me. That being said, there are people in Port Ormos who claim to have smelled. Some of them were merchants who lived in Fontaine 20 years ago. A one-of-a-kind.
Maybe someone around here just happens to have a bottle of...
No, I don't think so. I doubt that's the case. Auguste is even more prone to that kind of shit. Although, could there be a flower out there with a...
Impossible. If a goose were that easy to replicate, it would...
Technically speaking, the scent wouldn't be...
Well, let's table that question for...
No. By the time they realized they had compared to things we see and hear.
It almost sounds like someone...
Wait. Are you saying...
Just thinking out loud.
We don't have much to go off of right now, but we can... You all traveled so far to be here. Why don't...
Ooh, you've got the keys to the room?
My apologies. I managed to tidy up one of the rooms for these two at the
Oh, and we just showed up out of the blue.
I should have been more considerate. Here I am with an...
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity... even better. Although, would it be possible for me to...
Well,
Of course, no.
all right then. Ood, I'll prepare some refreshments.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition is gonna be huge.
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various plants.
Oh, Guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room seems to be a connected suite. And my brother will be Blaze while you're out. Why don't you bring... Blaze!
Yes, of course.
All right, then. Where can we find your luggage?
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back. Could I trouble you to bring that back as well?
How generous.
Is that so? Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze.
Hey! What are you doing?
That's Master's voice.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar! Are you all right?
Who?
Kyria.
Kyria.
Hey, Edgar! Edgar!
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Oh, really?
I checked. Oh, but that's impossible. It's not like that. Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit could have just disappeared.
Do you think whoever did this was hiding in the flowers before? Well, we looked all over, but the only clue...
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue. He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airway. Ah, yes. The scent is the same. But first, I do believe there are two people who could Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle?
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste. There were 4 people in total. A researcher from Sumeru responsible for cultivating the Auguste flower. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for falsifying their accounts and...
And what does that have to do with us?
Every time your brother called you Blaze, it took...
Ah, Miss Emilie, out of respect, you have a bright future ahead of you.
You claim to be regular perfume.
What?
Amber wine is a perfume I created several years ago. Until recently, they were living...
Emilie, you little...
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up to criticize, but Master's life is in danger. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, so I'd like to trouble you for some information.
Fine.
Sylvain!
Lucien, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all... You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at the beginning. Sometime down the road...
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in Sumeru?
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru. Still, Master was depressed for... That's how I met him. My parents had to relocate to... But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher.
Like us, Vijava was... But before the Phantom showed up at her door...
But destroying all that evidence...
It didn't matter at that point, because
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even...
the name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed either.
Kyria was... He was just a clueless kid back then. Vijava kept him close most of the time, after our operation was compromised.
So, you think Kyria
Vijava doted on the kid like you would if she left something behind before she died.
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate...
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was out...
Poison? No. If Auguste could be considered a poison... He probably thought we had... We're not looking for Kyria because we only went to prison for a bit. As long as we keep things honest this time.
So that's why you never mentioned Kyria during your...
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, that's all we know.
Well, at least we're able to say for certain that the substance...
Well, glad to hear. Lucian, let's head back to the room and rest a bit.
Yes, of course.
You think so too? But based on Sylvain's tone of voice just now...
The way you exposed them like that? Oh, right! Earlier you said you were only sort of a doctor.
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients I encounter are...
So you're,
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula. Basically, there are two sides to forensics. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to report back to Taina? I'll stay here and continue to look after Master, now that we have a
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
What? Edgar was attacked? He's the most famous perfumer in the region. Someone who's helped countless people around Port Ormos.
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious individual fleeing?
No, but we've got eyes all over the area. I'll start gathering my forces.
What about you, Tainari?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene, and...
But she's
Then she was far too modest. Not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition is... As for me, I'll head to the academia and see...
Oh, that's right! Vijava was supposed to be a scholar for...
From Emilie's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like I have friends in Sumeru City that can help me investigate. I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over things here at...
in a day. But things weren't looking good with Emily's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first. Emily!
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. My chemical analysis of a goose also I was able to identify the components that give
Elemental energy?
hard to say. It was such a minute I had to use one of the newest tests developed unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy. As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy,
Oh, that reminds Paimon.
I received a message from him last night, but I have
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by. Excuse me? Is Miss Emily here? Oh, perfect! Familiar faces!
Kale. Oh, of course. Tainari's apprentice. He's mentioned. And please, no need for formalities.
Oh, okay. Did Tainari send you here, Kale? Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, the Master considered that possibility as well. But the name wasn't the... How is that possible?
It's starting to seem very likely.
Hey! Lucian!
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back, do you?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel... It's locked?
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Emily, Emily! My brother, he's gonna be okay, right?
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
No, no, that's not...
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone through... He needs some space to calm down. Could one...
Of course. Leave it.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, we'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He's like he may have made some bad decisions.
Good person or bad. The death of a loved one is all the moments he shared with his brother.
If Kirio really was behind...
Lucian can no longer speak. Traveler, I've got things covered here at the scene.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's... Miss Emily, I heard you're an experienced forensic...
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature and...
Then, would you mind helping us investigate?
Of course, I appreciate your trust.
We'll help too. We don't know... And the windows are shut tight too. Seems... Well, looks like...
So, did you find anything?
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But entering through the room,
No, his reaction to the lost.
then what could have happened last night?
I agree. Also, I've made.
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your...
After Kyria attacked Edgar, we returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors. The only door we kept unlocked was... But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise!
So, no movement from the room next door. No signs of a struggle at the scene.
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated, and there weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he...
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling? No. Emilie, you ran your tests.
No, I didn't find any...
See?
That may be true for most.
Master!
Edgar?
Sylvain, no matter how hard you...
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret, no. He would... That's... Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She was an exiled Fatus from...
Oh, Fatus?
The Fatui.
Ah, so you've already detected it.
Oh,
The Auguste flower was
The Fatui, delusions.
born of a delusion. Auguste contained distorted elemental energy.
that's enough, Edgar. At first, Yelena wanted to keep refining. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people. And
So you decided poisoning?
listen, it's not like it was good for... unless you were particularly sensitive.
It may be true there are no records of Auguste, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, that explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena. The Fatui, delusions, Auguste.
Ha! If I'd known... all these years without any sign of Kyria, and Auguste was harmless before.
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the product but if the Mara show safe, before we could even put our plan in motion.
But if her goal was to destroy... Yeah, she could have just burned the...
I thought about it for a long time. Everything she did. One of the reasons they defected from the foot after arriving in Fontaine,
So she couldn't flee with her brother?
if her true identity was the Auguste flower and Yelena's... So, in the end,
So the wealth you earned from Auguste?
most likely. That's why Lucien and I were searching.
Why is Kyria out for revenge
I don't think he knew his sister. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around.
Then all we'll need to do is tell Kyria what real... I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of hatred.
Very true. Even...
Edgar!
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been so blinded, if we hadn't invited the Marash...
She knew her limits. We were just trying to earn a bit of more. Lucien's crime. Fine.
3 people from Fontaine. Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends some... with the exhibition...
The hotel could although with Sylvain's mental state...
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, I'd just like to take care... As for Sylvain, would you be willing to grant?
Well, all right. The man we grew to know in Sumeru...
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
Happened tonight?
Yeah, all we know is that he uses a goose to poison people. But we still have no idea how to... If he targets Sylvain or...
That may be true, but if we take advantage of...
Master, no!
If Kyria learns we're in other words, You want
Capture? Not necessarily.
afraid? I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. As for the danger,
I'll admit, it could work. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel.
I still have some reservations.
I'll also keep watch.
Although, I think Sylvain, if Kyria noticed another person in...
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his
If that were to happen,
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
This...
All right, we can figure out a plan to...
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained.
What? He's the one who helped.
He taught my child how to make perfume.
He hasn't been convicted yet.
Oh, everyone on the street is Let's head back to the hotel and take a break.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Emilie, Chef Xian wants to talk to you in the
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you have...
Oh, that's very kind of...
Oh, it's not good to be so tense.
Was it that?
You seem very preoccupied with Kyria's revenge.
Oh, Hey, Emilie, Kale. Oh, are we interrupting? No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you. I've just been thinking. There was just a single door separating them. When I accompanied Sylvain to his room after maybe Kyria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to So did he attack Edgar as a warning then?
Based on what we've heard about Kyria...
Losing his sister all those years ago. Whenever I get to thinking like that, I'm sorry.
There's nothing wrong with the way... In all my years of cleaning up, some of them even tried to surround yourself with... So while you hold do Sylvain and Lucien answering those questions, I've witnessed, but generally speaking...
Once you're consumed by...
You're right. But that all... I understand...
Huh.
Emilie, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two! Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really
Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru.
We could do that for you, Master.
No need. I would imagine Sheriff
The Night Watch!
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area. Exactly. After some discussion, we can... And Emilie's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch.
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
Not a peep. Has Kirya given up on his revenge? Guess we'll have... Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiria's true motive... No, that can't be right. If all he... There must be something we're missing.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like... Oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers, clay... Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear?
It was the older of the merchant brothers.
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named Luke.
Listen up, everyone. This is an act of crime.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a...
Do you think it could be the work of an... I mean, how do you get away with something?
Keep it moving, everyone. No lo...
I suppose.
You don't know that. Kiria already attacked...
You were the only reason.
Even if I wasn't there, time...
Is that so? I have exceptional but Kiria has... It really makes you wonder.
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kiria himself.
Well, Emilie, there's some... But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Whether Kiria gets to me first, I know it's a lot.
Of course.
Really? Now
Sheriff Sham still has some...
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting.
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Paimon sure hopes Emilie still isn't back. I hope she didn't run it. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. After listening to Emily's plan, to be honest, I'm still not...
The key clue was right in front of us Let's go. We'll show you where the culprit... Another all-nighter. Emilie still isn't back. I hope... Yeah.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. After listening to to be honest, I'm...
The key clue was right in front of us, Let's go. We'll show you where the... Wasn't this incense originally a... This is it!
glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before.
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emilie, you're back!
Exactly.
A flower that only...
Exactly. That's why Kyria chose.
If applied to the outside, you would still be able to smell a ghost even in... There's a sticky substance on the edge. If poured into the flower pot, if you stick the petals together... If applied to the that doesn't sound...
That's right. That way the... However...
And Kyria could...
By the next morning, the sample...
Wait a second. And how did Edgar even...
That's because a ghost is just as dangerous...
That can't be right.
I wouldn't use the word... You can think of it this way.
The incense I smelled earlier all kinds of essential oils commonly found in Fontaine, I experienced. In Sumeru, scholars
alchemically produced essential oil.
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble! Ah, yes.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon.
Flowers were pretty...
Actually, it's not a coincidence.
No wonder he probably used... But in the end...
There's a saying, but up until this, but because he's been disguised as some...
Creating such an... It all points to... Kyria and Edgar?
But... Kyria was only in his teens. Edgar's lived here for some...
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran out of his room. But before we could even react, the figure up and... Do you think Kyria kidnapped?
I need you to think very carefully.
I mean...
It would seem Master decided to tap into it.
What? But that's so...
But what?
No. If his aim was to target...
If he lives Sylvain...
Then...
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry, before they're forced to confront each other.
Where in the world did it go? Let's ask the merchant.
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath.
How could...
This is terrifying.
No! Don't come any closer!
If we go
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff of this... It's this way. Please, follow me.
Shine down! Ha! 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 Ha!
The scent is getting stronger. This must be the...
Oh! Are you all right? Were you at...
No.
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, this feeling...
Everything looks all right. It was probably just...
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar, he's a good man.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen to me.
But how is that Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort. Kyria used a delusion.
No.
And what if the impersonation... I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real Edgar while Edgar was incarcerated. Kyria started making preparations to replace him, including forcefully aging his body. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire, and Sumeru fit the... As the years went by, he removed his disguise little by little.
That explains why Sylvain said he aged himself decades...
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not...
What you really need is to get out of...
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, I know how to relieve your... I'm sure Kyria...
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. This leads me to believe those blessed with a vision... Actually, I hate to trouble...
Thank. Hear that?
Traveler, for someone who's only...
Don't worry. This isn't... We're not going to... Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy. I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff. Extract!
Whoa, look at all the Augusta! There are so many of them. Paimon can't believe it.
I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon.
But why would Kyria... He only needed a few bottles.
Perhaps hatred wasn't. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flour, but Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya, abandoned Fontaine, and lived his entire life for someone with nowhere to call home. Perhaps... little ambiance. Reconstitute.
Illusion shattered. Inazuma shines eternal. Shine down.
This'll brighten up the place. Extract. I must be prudent. My weakness. The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end. The scent of flowers is getting stronger.
Did they catch up? No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter.
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all of... Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden, I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Yelena!
I'm alive. No.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the...
No! The amount of Auguste I drank. A fake.
We started making the preparations to create a perfect... The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedarwood, rounded out with a base note of agarwood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind.
Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind, no more. Myths can be deconstructed, miracles can be recreated, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharuar, capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emilie?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste, and then lied to me about Sylvain's death.
Convincing you that your revenge had been completed?
Impossible. Even if you found if Auguste was so...
It was a combination of rainbow roses, glaze lilies, and Cecilias. Those ingredients, but recently, we found a way for them to work together.
Rainbow roses, glaze lilies.
Auguste was created over 10 years ago. All this time, people never stopped analyzing it. Perfumery techniques are advancing day by day. We've found better ways to extract essential oils, separate oils and fats. We eat the mythos surrounding
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always but the meaning you assigned to you believed in its divinity, and your obsession with the goose.
We just didn't expect it to happen, so...
Well, so, since you've been preparing your accords, that means the news of Sylvain's death.
Yes. If we...
Who knows?
I know if you had things your way. So all the crimes he concealed back...
Is that so?
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I don't feel the need to justify. I did what
Careful, everyone.
Stick close and hurry up.
Looks like I'm...
Of course, Master.
The combination.
The scent of Auguste is complex, so as I was analyzing...
You're saying...
Rainbow roses, glaze, but if you cultivate a new...
Rainbow roses, Yelena.
Did you know? Miss Emilie... right.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume you're...
I was hoping to release it without... I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth. I did. Although, also, I was hoping you could try out...
Of course! A good sense of...
It's alright. Besides, when it comes to perfume...
Right! Do those flowers have some special...
if I had to get...
A language of flowers? Oh, we've heard it...
What each flower is said to After returning to Fontaine, I did some research. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena...
You think Kyria knew...
I paid him a visit, but who knows? Yelena is gone. Even if that is what... Avenging her... Kyria cultivated his revenge like a flower. In any case, thank you for saving my life. Love and hatred are when someone died, but Even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we give, and yet at the